Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Day 7, Northbrook at the Intelligentsia Cup Pro Men Field, back with Will. Welcome back, buddy.
Thanks, Jeff.
And man, this course, I got a lot of thoughts about this course. And this is the corner right here, right? Like, this is the consequential one. And you see Monk getting a little sendy there into the curb. And yeah, we're going to see a lot more of that. But let's talk about this course really fast. It doesn't look particularly tough in the map in the lower right-hand corner. But it's hard because it's like 1 kilometer long, right, Will?
Yeah, there's a tight corner, but it's a short course, so you're hitting those corners a lot.
This is the longest straightaway, and by the time Will finished that sentence, we're already preparing for the next corner. And that's the longest straightaway, so it gives you an idea of how tight this is. And what does that mean? That means you are rewarded for being at or near the front, because you can pedal through all of these corners, even on a tight course like this, but you have to be up in good position. And that's what I'm doing. I'm fighting up here with the likes of Corey Williams, you know, the national champion Monk. You see Legion, Project Echelon, a bunch of your teammates, and you're up here too, right?
Yep, I'm right there with you.
It's the place to be, man. So what's my plan here? Is to stay up here. This is another good line on the right. I love this outside line on the right.
Yeah.
But my plan today was to help Ryan get a result. This is a much better course for Ryan, and Ryan was looking really good the day before. Ryan's my one only teammate in this race, and this was a day for him, so I'm going to do some stuff throughout this race. We'll talk more about it. That's going to help Ryan get himself into position, because we're going up against the likes of Project Echelon. There were, 6 of you guys?
Yeah, we had a good squad at this race.
Legion had 8 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Aviators had 8, something like that. Blazers, there's so many. I mean, guys, this is Intelligentsia. This is the pro men's field. This is the tip of the spear when it comes to crit racing in the United States. So we got our work cut out for us with just 2 of us on, I was going to say Mike's bikes, but we're racing solo. If you guys want to learn more about that, check out some of the previous Intelligentsia videos. In fact, I should probably put those in like a playlist. I'll put those in a playlist so you guys can enjoy the older the first 6 stages, because this is stage 7, which is something to talk about already, because 162 beats per minute is kind of chill, except when you're on the 7th consecutive day of crit racing. How are your legs doing?
I think everybody's a little fatigued by this point, which is going to be a little lower heart rate for the exertion you're actually putting out. So it's deep into this race series.
Right. Yeah. Let's fast forward a little bit. Okay, but first a quick message from the sponsor of this video, and that is Garden. You guys remember about 6 weeks ago I put this device in my living room? I was a little bit skeptical, to be honest with you, but here we are 6 weeks later, and we're there. We're at the point of harvest. I've already started using some of these plants, turning this food into fuel for the family. We have lettuce, we have jalapenos, we have tomatoes, we have herbs. And look, I don't have the green thumb. I don't have any gardening experience, and that is made possible by Kelby, which is the AI tool which is an app on your device which takes care of the watering, takes care of the lights, and puts a sustainable gardening practice at your fingertips. So if you're interested in learning more, I urge you to check out the link in the description, and I want to thank Garden again for sponsoring this video. Now back to the race. All right, still quite early on in this race, but I wanted to show this corner 3. 1, 2, 3. We talked about it already. It's the most consequential corner in the race. It's going to be pivotal throughout this race, but I just want to show you guys. It's so hard to get this thing right. I mean, an easier way to say it is it's really easy to get this corner wrong. And right here, somebody gets it wrong. And as a result, you can see this Mito Q rider doing God knows how many watts. He was torquing his bike out. I'm over 1,000 watts just to get back up to speed. And if we slow it down, we can see Ryder in the yellow and green. God, it looks like he's about to high side. He just gets it totally wrong. As a result, everybody gets backed up. And Will, back me up on this. This is the thing with crit racing, especially on a technical course like this, is like if somebody gets something wrong, it's like car traffic. There's a ripple effect all the way back. And then their mistake causes you to have to do what I'm doing right now, which is this huge effort. And this is compounding throughout the race.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the keys to being at the front. You're not going to get hit with that accordion effect.
But everybody wants to be at the front, and only 5 riders can be at the front at any given moment. So that's what makes this sport hard. So anyway, I wanted to show that corner. Let's fast forward again. All right, and man, we're bunched up now. This is Will. This is you and your squad, right? These guys in the blue Project Echelon.
Project Echelon boys all trying to stay together at this point in the race.
And I'm pretending like I'm wearing a blue jersey also. I'm just kind of sneaking my way in. Probably not your favorite thing in the world as a group trying to stay together, infiltrating. Right. What does that mean for you guys?
It means that we're going to get separated for a little, and people might have to spend matches. I think Peter behind you here is going to want to get up to us, so he might be trying to look for ways to get back up, and there he goes on the right side trying to get back up, and our sprinter here, Cade, is not going to follow it because he doesn't want to burn that match.
Right, yeah. And first of all, apologies. I cut the head off the snake. So it seems like we race together a lot in these, and I want to pat you guys on the back. It's usually because you guys are in such good position, and it's like I want to be there with you. You guys are organized. You're taking clean lines. This looks good, but it's not so great for you guys staying as a cohesive group.
Yeah, I mean that's sometimes how it works. People want to be in that group because you're protecting each other, but every once in a while you'll get infiltrators and all of a sudden your train's disrupted.
Yep. And as you can see, I've moved back from the last clip quite a bit. I'm trying to fight my way back up towards the front because, when you have one teammate and you only have so many cards to play, right? It's just Ryan and I, and we can't drop back too far because we might miss a big split. We can't drop back too far because it's going to be harder for us to get back into position when it matters most. So, man, I felt like this whole race I was just fighting to get into position and maintain that good position because, like we said before, only like the top 5 riders are really benefiting from that really good that really good line through that corner right there, and they don't have to do 900 watts. Like, look at everyone just fighting here, scrambling to get back up to speed. And conservation of speed is the name of the game in successful crit racing, and that's really the theme of today's video. I think we're going to talk more about that. I want to show you guys some really cool examples of where I got that wrong, where other riders, namely, I won't spoil it, but the winner of this race ends up getting it right. And here's Ryan and my wheel behind, and now we're going to try to stay together. But man, it's hard. I mean, you guys were struggling with it a minute ago. Now Ryan and I, only 2 of us, we're going to struggle with it some more.
It's harder with less people. You're going to have more people to sift through and lines that each other may not follow. So let's see how you stay together here.
The reason you want to stay together is you do favors for each other. I mean, if I'm going to do an effort out in the wind like I am right now, I know Ryan's on my wheel, and I wouldn't be doing this effort if Ryan wasn't on my wheel, because this is a lot of energy. And I'm going to continue moving up on the left, and this is exactly to your point. It looks like Ryan was like, nah, I'm good. That was a little bit too high risk. Mm-hmm. And the truth is, it kind of was like I'm down at 17 miles an hour, and now back up over 1,000 watts. So it didn't really work out for me either. But the point is, the bottom line is like we were separated, and this is what's so tricky when you're on a tight technical course with just one teammate, is like staying together is really hard. All right, so we've cut forward quite a bit. What are we, about halfway through this race now? And I need to move up. But look at Ty here. Okay, so this is an important thing I wanted to talk about. I'm kind of scrambling. I'm like, I need to move up, and I need to get up there, and I can see that that you guys on Project Echelon are kind of in the same boat. But look at Ty just leaving gaps open and just chilling. Like, he really is doing the pro move here. I mean, he's a world-class crit racer, right? Like, it's no surprise. But he's sitting back, and I think I had some thoughts on this. It's like 50% him just being an incredibly good crit racer, and he's comfortable in the knowledge that he will be able to get back into position at a moment's notice. And it's also 50%, let's be honest, he's surrounded by a team of 8 other world-class crit racers, who are going to be able to cover breakaways, who are going to be chasing things back, joining breakaways, who are going to be consequential, controlling the race. Not to mention, we'll still be able to lead him out at the end and hang in there. We have more. We're going to talk more about that at the end of this race. But man, like I feel like I was just a little bit too anxious and like eager to close every little gap and spin. I mean, I don't know how many times I went over 1,000 watts in this race, Will.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, the benefit of what he's doing is now you're back together again, but he has not hit 900 watts twice in between that period, and now he's got the energy to bring his teammate Corey here up to the front on a spot where he's not spending that much more energy than anyone else. So he's staying super smooth and just banking on his other teammates covering those moves up front and keeping that race together.
Exactly, and I want to reiterate something you said, which is when he did finally use some energy, he did it with a teammate in tow, which is which is a callback to what we were talking about earlier. Like if I'm out in the wind, I want to make sure that Ryan is benefiting from that. So they're executing that beautifully on Legion as well. Guys, there's a reason that they're the best at this sport. They do stuff like that. So Tara Page from the Ty Magner playbook right there. It was looking real clean, and I think that's going to pay dividends for him later on in this race. All right, man, we're getting close here. We're 12 kilometers to go. Race is going to be over in about 12 minutes, and I got teammate duties to do. Will, I got to move up, find Ryan here. I find a good lineup here on the right hand side through that consequential corner, and I burn a match here. But you can see now I'm in good company, and I'm just going to keep on moving up the right hand side, passing the likes of Legion, Disruptors, and now here I am, slot in front of Ryan. In fact, I'm going to do a little bit better than that. I'm just going to keep moving up, but I chirp at him a little bit, make sure he's on, and now this is when it starts to get consequential, right? And because you had 5 teammates in this race, it's important now. You can lose wheels and stuff throughout the race. It's less impactful, but now that we're approaching 10, 11 laps to go, whatever this is, it's going to be more and more important from here on out to stay together as a team.
Yep. We had a goal in this race series of kind of getting to the front at 12 laps to go. Legion even started pulling at 14 laps to go in a lot of these races, just earlier and earlier, especially on courses like this that are tight and can be controlled if you're at the front. You save so much more energy if you get farther up earlier. So this is a good time for you to be together, but now it looks like Ryan and you may be getting a little bit separated again, but kind of getting back together the best you can.
We just struggled with it. I mean, we didn't even last one lap there. Ryan's back on here, and in fact, he's just going to follow this Mito Q rider who's leading the series in the yellow jersey. He's going to move up. I didn't hop on. I'm finding the inside line, and look how much better the Disruptors are doing. There's only 2 of them, right? But who are these 2 riders? Remind folks.
This is Reinhardt Jansi van Rensburg in front, and then Riley Sheehan right behind him, and they're super experienced, so they're going to have a lot of faith in each other and following each other's lines, which comes with riding together a lot more, and just that experience of being together and trusting the other guy. So at first it can be good when you're working with another guy of just taking your own lines and trying to keep them in sight, but once you get to that level, they are sticking together super well. Yeah.
If you haven't heard those names, you must be new to the sport, but like Will said, those guys know what they're doing. They're going to do a really good job, even though there's 2 of them, at sticking together. Much better than Ryan and I. We're kind of just all over the place. We're not doing the best job helping each other out. We're not for lack of effort. I know where Ryan is. Ryan knows where I am. It's just we're struggling to fight off the divers and really protect our space. But you can see these other teams are doing that. And by the way, if you're new to racing, it's generally the case that when you start out, you're by yourself. You don't have teammates. Mm-hmm. But then maybe you join the local team. And pro tip, establish roles. And the racing's not going to look like this when you first start. This is a higher level of racing. But if you're just starting out, you're a Cat 5 or Cat 4, try to stick with your teammate and see if you can just follow that wheel. And if you have established roles, the sprinter, in this case Ryan, who's behind me, he should just be focused on following my wheel to the best extent possible. It doesn't always work out, obviously, as you can see in this case. But if you're listening to this and you're wondering on tips on how to race better as a team, follow each other. That's such an important skill. You can do it outside of race day too. Do it on your training rides. Do it during your practice races. If you want to learn more, shameless plug, 25% off the masterclass right now through December 15th. I outline drills and skills clinics that you can do to improve these skills, whether you have no teammates, 1 teammate, or even 8 teammates. But Will, give us your thoughts on having 1 teammate at this point in the race.
It can come back and bite you if you're together when a breakaway goes off the other part of the field, or maybe you don't have the cohesion together.
Right. And right here, I don't know if the GoPro picked it up, but Ryan comes up next to me and he's like, that's all I heard. I'm like, are you good? And he said, it's you. But what I thought he said at the time is, let's go, or something. There was some serious confusion going on at this point in the race between us. It turns out he was struggling. He was fighting off a bug at this point. He fell sick the following day, and Ryan just wasn't the normal Ryan on this day. What he told me was, it's you, and I thought he was saying I'm good, and anyway. I wasn't aware of this, and this was another problem with our racing on this particular day, is our communication wasn't great. So I'm going to continue riding as if I'm leading him out, for the final here. But the truth is, you guys, I mean, even if I did hear what he said, it's just going to be really hard. At racing at this level, it's kind of difficult to go as a solo rider up against these big lead-outs. 8 riders on Legion, 8 riders on Blazers, that sort of thing. And look, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's really difficult, especially up against these big, full national-level squads. And it changes your approach. It changes your strategy when you're just a single rider. You're not burning matches like I was up until this point in the race. But I'm going to give it a rip, 100% effort anyway. Let's see how it works out. Okay, just outside of 3 kilometers to go now. And man, this race is almost over. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am not in good position. And it's at this point I was looking around and I was like, oh, maybe Ryan said he's not good. Like, he's not around anymore. So I think it's going to be on me. But all those efforts before, out in the wind, just trying to get up and maintain good position with Ryan, are now starting to catch up. You can see the front of the race is still pretty close. Like, I'm still in the hunt for a result, but man, after this corner, you can see big crash, and I don't know, like, Will, I'm up over 1,000 watts here. Let's watch this again in slow-mo.
And this caught our team out too. A lot of our guys were behind this. Our 2 sprinters were behind it. So up here in the front, you can see Reinhardt clips a pedal into that corner. I think he was the only one to actually go down, but it's going to cause a chain reaction back here where you're going to have to make up all that space to get back up front.
Right. We talked about that ripple effect, and yeah, I mean, I had to slow down to 12 miles an hour in a crit race where we averaged 30 miles an hour is pretty consequential. And as a result, you can see, yeah, I'm doing over 1,100 watts, almost 1,200 watts. But the difference is here, now this is sustained power, right? Before, I was hitting quadruple digits out of that corner on a pretty regular basis, to be honest. But it was just for a moment, right? An instantaneous moment. But now it's sustained power. Sam's caught out, too. This is your sprinter up here.
Yeah, he's going to have to make his way back up and probably spend the same amount of energy that you just did.
Yeah, I should have jumped on that. But, man, Sam's got some good power. And he moved up quickly because he sees the writing on the wall. And although you can see up the road, I mean, it does look like, at least for the most part, the gaps are closed. But when it's single file like this, I mean, we saw a moment ago I was maybe 2 seconds behind the leaders. And look, here's Legion riders dropping off. I think that was Lance. You know it's fast when you have lead-out guys already pulling off outside of 2 kilometers to go. But the difference now is, although it's together, quote-unquote, I am no longer 2 seconds between my front wheel and the front of the bike race. Now it's like, what is that? Whatever this is, 7 seconds, which is enormously consequential at this moment in the race because, guys, there's 2 minutes left in this race and I have 8 seconds to close down. I mean, Legion's on the front drilling it. We're going 34 miles an hour and I'm not passing anybody. I'm just barely hanging on. Look at behind me too. Gaps behind me. I mean, it's not looking good. Not looking good, right, Will?
Yeah, at a certain point you're at the back of the field with 2 laps to go, and that's not a good spot to be.
I'm essentially at the back of the field right now because everyone behind me has either done lead-out duties or has just gotten gapped off and is just tired. So you can see this.
And you've been spending. Yeah,
this field's gone from.
You've been spending a lot of energy.
Field's gone from 100 riders down to 35 or whatever it is now, and I've been spending, to your point, I've been spending a lot of energy up to this point. Not really knowing how Ryan was doing, and yeah, man, poor guy Ryan. He just has no luck at Intelligentsia Cup in Chicago. I mean, we can't come out here and string together just good consecutive days. Either I'm going good and he's not, or he's going good and I'm not. And man, we've just struggled out here, which makes me want to keep coming back out to Intelligentsia because I've been on the podium out here before, and I want to find that result again, but. It's high level of racing. I mean, I don't have to tell you, right? How are you guys? You guys are split up in this crash too, right?
Yeah, we lost our 2 sprinters. I think we had 3 or 4 guys in the top 10 at this point. I know I was burning a lot of energy trying to keep Hugo and Ethan and I up there, but waiting for our sprinters to come back up after that crash is very much so on the back foot compared to Legion, who is keeping it at a high speed, and they're rolling through really easy with Ty Magner on the wheel there, who's been saving energy already.
Yeah, you guys remember? I mean, so by the way, first of all, I'm done. I'm 0 watts. I was doing 100. Yeah. I'm just rolling in now. I'm thinking about my recovery drink. But if we go back to those moments when Ty was like, oh yeah, like I am not going to sprint out of this corner. I'll let other people fill in. Oh yeah, I'm going to let that little gap open up because I don't need to be overexcited about closing these gaps. I have teammates and I have this skill to get to where I need to be. And he got to where he needed to be. He launched with like 400 meters to go on this back section right here. In fact, I think I have footage of it. Let's check this out. Slow-mo. This is he's already done a 20-second sprint up to this point, and he's just got his head down. Smashes the final corner first, guys. What do I always say? First to the final corner, and it pays off. Legion takes down the W. They really got to the front at a really consequential moment, and good for him. Well-deserved win by tie. Congratulations, Legion, on the win. Stay tuned, guys, for Stage 8 of the Intelligentsia Cup. Will, great having you on as always.
Thanks, Jeff. It was a pleasure.